afternoon YouTube, Xfile2708 back again with another recent watches video. I said previous watches, moving away from the weekly one. Don't always get time to watch loads of movies in one particular week. So I think it's probably 2 weeks now since my last recent watches. So I have got 6 physical and one Fire Stick Plus, let's say, to share with you today, guys. So the first one I watched was a movie from 1984, one that I got as part of my recent Mega Haul videos. So movie from 1984 called Breakin'. So this was one, like I say, showed on the Mega Haul video. My good friend Craig over at Bumpers Movies, he commented and said, "Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Definitely put that on your pile to watch coming up." So that was my first watch of the week. I've got my trusty iPad here, so I'll give you some information about it. So 1984, directed by Joel Silberg. Synopsis of this one, guys: a struggling young dancer joins forces with two breakdancers, and together they become a street sensation. Now, let's have a look. Where are we? There we go. Right, my review for this one, guys. A real feel-good 80s street dance movie. Think 8 Mile, but done back in 1984. Great music and street dancing battles throughout. Very much of its time, but a real fun one to watch. Even a first starring role for Jean-Claude Van Damme, which I shall put a little picture to the side of me here, so you can see he's dancing as part of the crowd. It's a non-speaking part that he's got, but yeah, he's dancing in the crowd in his black leotard. So there you go. That was by all accounts Jean-Claude's first starring role. Let's have a look. Overall, a really fun one from the early 80s, which if you're a fan of old school hip hop, you'll be sure to enjoy. And I rated that one a 3.5 out of 5. So thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I say, real feel good hip hop movie from the mid 80s. I believe they also did Breakin' 2 potentially. Not too sure. I think I might have that as well as part of one of the hauls. So definitely one I'll revisit, and one that I'm happy to recommend to you guys if you like your feel good 80s music type movies. So really enjoyed that one. So that was the first one, guys. Next up, where are we? We go over to a Western. So this is one that I've got here. There we go. So this was one that was recommended by several people when I asked for Westerns recommendations several weeks ago. So there we go. There's The Wild Bunch. This is a movie, Sam Peckinpah, from 1969, and the synopsis of this one reads: an aging group of outlaws look for one last big score as the traditional American West is disappearing around them. And this one runs 145 minutes. And here we go. So my review for this one, guys. Wow, what an opening to a movie and an introduction to Sam Peckinpah Westerns. This movie has it all from the off, with an all-action Wild West town shootout that's carnage, with innocent civilians being shot, people shot off buildings, people being shot off horses and falling through shop windows. Absolutely breathtaking opening sequence that leaves you ready and raring for what the rest of this movie has to offer. This original director's cut, which is the one that I watched there on DVD, ran 138 minutes. Was an excellent watch from start to finish. A lot more graphic compared to other westerns I'd seen previously, with some excellent shootouts. Great story overall, and definitely one I'd recommend and would happily watch again. And letterboxd rating, I gave that one a solid 4 out of 5. So that was The Wild Bunch from 1969. Right, where are we next? Next, this was a blind buy in a local charity shop. Literally just went on the cover and the subject matter, hoped it'd be half decent, and it is a movie called Killer Inc. So those of you that know me well will know big into my tattoos. So yeah, horror and tattoos in a movie, I'm all in. So that's Killer Inc., which actually is also known as Anarchy Parlor. So, synopsis of this one. It's a movie, first of all, 2015, directed by Devon Downs and Kenny Gage. Runs 98 minutes. 6 young college hopefuls vacationing and partying in Lithuania get more than they bargained for when they unwittingly get caught up in a maniacal tattoo artist's fiendish side business. Right, my review for this one. Watched this one for the first time tonight. Looked good from the cover, but over the years I've learned this doesn't normally end well. A group of friends travel to Lithuania where they party and get mixed up in very much a hostel type scenario. The friends are all annoying as hell, the only saving grace being the main tattooist, played by Robert Lusardo, and his cute emo chick apprentice, who's also covered in tattoos and piercings, played by Sarah Fable. As mentioned, this is very much a reworking of the original Hostel movie, just done with more annoying teenage kids. So yes, this is very much torture porn, and with it being an 18, you see it in all its graphicness, from ears being sliced off to whole layers of someone's back being scalpeled off. And no kidding, guys, you see it all. So if you're not into your torture porn horror, I'd say give this one a wide berth. So yeah, if you struggle with graphic torture scenes, give this movie a wide berth. For me, I struggled more with the irritating students than I did the torture porn, but that's just me. Overall, shot well and a semi-decent story, albeit a Hostel rip-off. Very graphic with a decent little twist at the end. If you can stomach this kind of movie and don't mind screaming and shouting teenage girls for 3/4 of the film, then give it a go. So I rated that one 3 out of 5. It is one that I will keep in the collection. And to be fair, like I say, I'm a huge fan of the original Hostel movie. This one, you know, it's a blatant rip-off of Hostel, but it's a half decent watch, so, you know, I can forgive it for that. And like I say, stick your earplugs in for the horrible shouty girls, and just enjoy it in all its torture glory, if that sort of thing floats your boat. So 3 out of 5, and it is one that I'll rewatch again at some point down the line. So that was Killer Inc., aka Anarchy Parlor. So where do we go next? Next we go to a cup of coffee, because I need a slurp. So 1 second, guys. Oh. And the next movie, we have Deep Rising from 1998. So, in fact, all of these guys, bar one, are first-time watches. So, when I sat down and wrote these titles out this morning in readiness for doing this video, I was quite impressed with myself. If I could reach around and give myself a pat on the back for 6 out of the 7 movies being first time watches than I would do. So I'll have to wait till Lewis is across later and I'll get him to give me a pat on the back. So there we go. So yeah, Deep Rising from 1998. This one, let's give you some details. 1998, directed by Stephen Sommers. And synopsis: full scream ahead is the tagline. A group of heavily armed hijackers board a luxury ocean liner in the South Pacific Ocean to loot it, only to do battle with a series of large-sized, tentacled, man-eating sea creatures who have taken over the ship first. And my review for this one, was really looking forward to a first time watch of this one, as I'd heard nothing but positive things about this movie. And honestly, for a late 90s CGI B movie, it was a lot of fun. Well acted and well paced action movie, your usual spread of characters you don't mind, and those that really get on your nerves. Thankfully, the movie disappoints and the majority of the annoying characters meet their demise at the tentacles of the creatures. Suspenseful and action-packed throughout, with splatters of comedy as well. This one is definitely up there for me as one of the better creature features for its time, and well deserves all the praise I'd heard from people about it. Despite the odd ending, no spoilers, this is still one I'd recommend and will look forward to rewatching again later on down the line. And I rated that one a solid 3.5 out of 5. So if you like your 90s B-movie creature features, definitely one that I'd recommend. Thank you to everybody that, over the last several months has recommended it to me. It has been on my radar and I'm really glad to have got that watch for the first time. And happy to say that I'd rewatch it again later on down the line. So that was 1998's Deep Rising. Where are we? Right, next we're on to one that I will need some crafty video editing for. So next one I watched was ka-ching! There we go, Tony Hawk's Until the Wheels Fall Off. Now, this was one, I was channel hopping one evening, noticed it was on, I think it was maybe half an hour, 3/4 of an hour in. It is one that runs for over 2 hours. So I watched about an hour of it and then set it up to record because it was repeated a couple of days later. So then I sat down and watched it from the start and the hour that I'd watched and then the end of the film. Bit of an arse about face way of doing it, but it was such a good watch that I was happy to rewatch that bit in the middle that I'd caught previously. But yeah, absolutely brilliant documentary all about the career of skateboarder Tony Hawk's, or Tony Hawk, I should say. So yeah, it runs 129 minutes. It's a documentary that came out in 2022, directed by Sam Jones. Right, where's this going? There we go. Synopsis: a wide-ranging, definitive look at Hawk's life, an iconic career, and his relationship with the sport which he's been synonymous with for decades, featuring unprecedented access, never seen before footage, and interviews with Tony Hawk and prominent figures in the sport, including Stacy Peralta, Rodney Mullen, Mick McGill, Lance Mountain, Steve Caballero, Neil Blender, Andy McDonald, Dwayne Peters, Sean Mortimer, and Christian Hosoi. So, like I say, 129 minutes, so it's a long-ass documentary, but it is such a good one. Where's my review for this one? Here we go. Right, Watch this one off Sky Documentaries, and wow, what an amazing insight into skateboarding legend Tony Hawk. From growing up as a child, his family relationships, starting into skateboarding, and then progressing through into building his career. His gaming licenses with Sony, and his continued battle to do the world's first 900-degree trick. This documentary has it all. Interviews with family, friends, and the legend himself. Amazing insight into Tony Hawk and his complete journey from start to finish. Whether you're into skateboarding or not, this is a must-watch documentary, and definitely one I'll try and get on physical media and rewatch with just as much interest later on down the line. Now, I can't see that this one's actually had a physical media release, but here in the community we know somebody that can put that wrong right in our good friend Craig over at Bumpers Movies. So I'll be putting a request into him soon to sort me a physical copy of that one out for the collection. So I rated that one 4 out of 5. Like I say, absolutely brilliant documentary. You know, with my disability, I've never, been able to skateboard or anything like that, but I love watching skateboarding. I love watching, like Dave Myra days of BMX and stuff like that. And yeah, it's an absolutely fascinating insight into, what is an absolute legend of the sport. And he's such a nice, down-to-earth family guy. All the struggles that, that he had growing up, how his relationship was with his dad, how he struggled on the circuit because his dad used to run the events and things like that. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, can't recommend it enough, guys. If you've got the slightest of interest, give it a watch. Like I say, it was on Sky Documentaries, so I recorded it and watched it that way. But you might find it's on other streaming services as well. But yeah, well worth a watch. So that was Tony Hawk Until the Wheels Fall Off. Next up, so 2 left to go, guys. So coming up 20 minutes, so not too bad. Better than Sammy's latest watches that he's put up that I've noticed runs an hour and a half. So absolutely epic, that one. So good on you, Sam. So the next one that I watched, again, first time watch for me, was Straight Outta Compton. So this was one couple of people, including Lewis, had seen and recommended that I checked out. So it was one that I had on the shelf waiting to be watched. So that's it's a film from 2015. And the synopsis, let's have a look. Runs 147 minutes, directed by F. Gary Gray. Right, the world's most dangerous times created the world's most dangerous group. And that group being NWA, which I won't tell you what that stands for. By all means, Google it if you'd like to. Right. In 1987, 5 young men, using brutally honest rhymes and hardcore beats, put their frustration and anger about life in the most dangerous place in America into the most powerful weapon they had, which was their music. Taking us back to where it all began, Straight Outta Compton tells the true story of how these cultural rebels, armed only with their lyrics, swagger, bravado and raw talent, stood up to the authorities that meant to keep them down and form the world's most dangerous group, NWA. And as they spoke the truth that no one had before and exposed life in the hood, their voice ignited a social revolution that is still reverberating today. Right, my review for this one, guys. Wow, what a superb film this was. So many highs and lows throughout the almost 3 hours length of the movie. Struggles, family, gang war, police brutality, government control, betrayal. This movie has it all. Telling the true story of NWA, the rise to fame, then separation and everything in between. Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, and the record labels, as well as the battles with the authorities. Superb movie from start to finish. Huge rewatchability for me, and definitely one I'll upgrade to Blu-ray when I get the chance. Spoiler for an upcoming pickups video, I ordered it yesterday on Blu-ray, £2.89 delivered from Music Magpie. So absolutely fantastic movie, all about the NWA. If you've not seen it, you like the likes of 8 Mile and stuff like that, so music related movies, this one is absolutely fantastic. Real lump in the throat moment towards the end. I won't go into the spoilers, but yeah, something happens to one of the main people in NWA, and sadly he's no longer with us, so I won't say any more what the background to it was, etc. If you're into that sort of music, you'll already know. But yeah, it did put a real lump in my throat when I got to that bit. So, contrary to, to what some people think, I'm not hardened to all that sort of thing. It was a real lump in the throat moment at the end. So there we go. I can do emotions sometimes. So, but yeah, I rated that one a solid 4 out of 5. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Looking forward to getting the Blu-ray through, and I'll probably end up rewatching it again within the next couple of months or so via the Blu-ray. So fantastic movie, fantastic music throughout, and just an epic story that's told. So can't recommend that one highly enough. So that was 2015's Straight Outta Compton. And then the only rewatch for the fortnight, and it is the legendary Trainspotting. Probably 2 or 3 years since I last saw this one, so for me this film's up there probably in my top 20 non-horrors of all time. Absolutely fantastic film. So yeah, I thought I'd give that one a rewatch. So Trainspotting, I'm sure most of you will know Trainspotting. Danny Boyle movie from 1996. For those of you that don't, I shall give you the synopsis. Heroin addict Mark Renton stumbles through bad ideas and sobriety attempts with his unreliable friends, Sick Boy, Begbie, Spud and Tommy. He also has an underage girlfriend, Diane, along for the ride. After cleaning up and moving from Edinburgh to London, Mark finds he can't escape the life he left behind when Begbie shows up at his front door on the lam, and a scheming sick boy follows. My review for this one. Rewatched this one tonight for the first time in a couple of years, and wow, this film continues to impress. Released in 1996, this movie tells the story of the lives of heroin addicts. Dark, gritty, harrowing, but equally funny in places as well. This movie has it all. Excellent performances from Ewan McGregor, who plays the main character, Mark Renton, and all the other cast members, the likes of Spud, Begbie, Sick Boy and Tommy. A timeless classic that for me is almost movie perfection from Danny Boyle, and can happily sit amongst my top 20 non-horror movies of all time. Oh, and did I mention the awesome soundtrack that goes with this? So I rated a solid 4.5 out of 5. So very rare that I'll rate something a 4.5. I don't think I've actually put anything. I'll have to double check what my rating is for Duel now to see if I've given that a 5 previously. But yeah, almost movie perfection for me with Trainspotting. I have got the sequel, T2 Trainspotting, on DVD on the unit next to me, so I'll be watching that one in the next week or so. Again, that one continues where I think it continues 20 years after the original Trainspotting. and that one is absolutely brilliant as well. So it's a really good sequel. But again, it's probably 5 years maybe since I last saw T2 Trainspotting. So looking forward to picking that one up. And I do remember I absolutely loved it. So if I can upgrade that DVD that I got in the charity shop to either Blu-ray or 4K ready for the rewatch, then I'll do that as well. So there we go, guys. That's my recent watches now caught up with. So 6 first time watches for me, 1 rewatch. But yeah, no duffers amongst them. I think the lowest rated was, let's have a look. That's, yeah, Killer Inc. at 3 out of 5. So for my next one coming up, I might get Lewis to pick me a random dodgy one from the B movie section, and we'll see how I get on with that. So yeah, watch this space. Anyway, let me know, guys, if you've seen any of those films, what your thoughts were. Always nice to have that interaction with you guys in the comments. As always, please remember to like, comment and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll be back later on in the week with another video. Bye for now, guys.